And she's like, Eddie? He's like, yes. He goes, Eddie Wilson? Yes. Eddie Wilson Grant Jr.? Yes. And she's like, it's your mother.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My
Of the music
I did not know anything. Well, first of all, blanket statement, I don't know anything. Second of all, I did not know anything about this film.
Oh, no, me neither.
No, I went in blind.
Yeah, me too. Well,
no, that's not true. You gave me like the internet
description.
byline, and I was like,
just to prepare you.
Gangsters and waiters.
Yeah, and definitely a swindler too.
Definitely a swindler.
Well, and it was the only reason I chose this. So we have a whole list of all of the movie musicals, which most of them from Common Time you can find. That's fine. But the older stuff, I've had to go through and see which ones are real musicals, which ones are reviews, and which ones are actually available to find online, because I refuse to purchase a DVD.
And don't give you computer viruses
Yes.
from having to go to like the dark
So-
web to watch a movie. Of all the reasons to get a computer
I don't
virus,
think Kid
trying to
Millions
watch
is
like
one
an
of them.
obscure movie musical is not
Honestly,
a good one.
that would be how my computer dies. It's like, ma'am, how did you get this? It was like, there was a musical.
I was trying to watch a 1930s musical.
But anyway, so I've been going through this list to find out like which ones have enough information on it for us to actually be able to do dramaturgy, things like that. And I looked up this one and it was like, it's about gangsters and murder and archaeology and Egypt and Ethel Mermen. And I said, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, and you had me. You had me at Egypt. Which is a great segue into welcome,
Hello.
dear listeners, intrepid heroes, to 5678. Welcome back
Yes.
to 5678, a movie musical podcast. This episode, we are tackling the 1934 movie musical starring all of the things that Grace just said, Kid Millions.
Ugh.
I watched this through Amazon Prime.
too.
I think I spent $3.99 on
Yep.
it for a 48-hour rental.
Yes, me too.
I had such high hopes because I was like 90 minutes in and out.
out.
I spent so much time in this because so much
The plot is
happens in this.
thick and
The
fast and
plot-
unencumbered by logic. It is wild.
Yeah, like it made me think of our Marx Brothers film.
Yes.
If like the comedy was so fast
Yes.
and so much happens. Like I never got a chance to catch my breath.
No.
But also
Except in some
it was
musical
even
numbers.
worse than that because we had the main characters, we had a B
We
plot,
had a
we had
C
like
plot.
a C plot.
Yeah.
We had a lot going on at once and they were all interacting with each
Yes.
other.
Now, I will say, this movie does have a lot of cultural appropriation, but also
Oh, yes it does.
like mixing of cultures that isn't accurate. And I will also say that it does feature one moment of blackface, which we will discuss when we get to that. So fair warning in terms of those items, we will be discussing those throughout this movie because they are huge. Well, the cultural appropriation is a huge plot point at the end.
Yes. And if any of that doesn't sound like your cup of tea,
Totally fine.
skip ahead.
Yep.
We will not be offended. All right. This film is in black and white up until the very end.
Yeah.
And Ethel Mermen is not the title credit, which is wild.
No, well, she's 26 in this movie. She is a
She's
child.
so young. She's so young. This film is a vehicle for Eddie Cantor.
So we start in Times Square with a bunch of marquees.
Old-timey Times Square.
Yes.
Yes. Lights. Theater.
Ah!
New York. If this came out in 34, it definitely felt, was it a period piece when it came out?
Yeah, in New
Yeah,
York City,
okay.
1934. Yeah. So this
Great.
is not a period piece. It's a modern piece.
It was modern when it came
contemporary
out.
piece. There we go.
Contemporary thing. we hear Ethel Mermen, who has such a lovely, distinctive voice, singing. We hear her singing the song An Earful of Music, and we see her singing in what is called a melody shop, which I think is essentially
just a music club.
A sheet music? I thought it was like a sheet music store.
Oh!
It's a club?
I thought it was a club. Maybe it is a sheet music store. I don't know. I thought that it was like a bar where they had people singing, but I might be wrong.
But all the customers were looking at sheet music.
Then maybe,
regardless, it's not important to the plot.
Nah. We're only there for 30 seconds. So it's a place filled with people in hats. There's a bunch of girls singing backup.
Yeah, Ethel works there. She's singing a song.
Great.
It's her job. A man in a bowler hat comes in, greets her, and she's not happy to see him.
Louis the Lug.
Louis the Lug is this man's name. She was like, I told you not to come by when I'm working. And he says, when I tell you what I'm going to tell you, you're not even going to need to work anymore.
Exactly.
And they go into a back office in the store. All right, it's early. Here is my gripe.
Okay.
I did not know these characters' names until
I looked them up.
This film?
Yeah, they do not introduce
them. Until I looked them up,
them.
and they never said each other's names. I literally called them Ethel and Bowler Hat Man until he changed his hat.
Yeah.
And then I had to be like, all right, what's this guy's name? I gotta look it up.
Yes. So his name is Louis the Lug. Her name is Dot. They are a couple. He is a gangster. It is fantastic.
He is a goonish gangster.
He is a goonish gangster. But he is...
Listen, we've seen some good gangsters.
So he is a goon. His job is gangster. That's a good way to put it.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. He is inherently a goon. He's just wearing a gangster coat.
It's just 3 mice in a coat pretending to be a person.
They go into this back office, and Louis the Lug tells Ethel, whose character's name is Dot, he was like, hey, remember that old guy that we met down in Atlantic City?
That you had an affair with.
And he went around that whole weekend being like, this is my wife. He's dead. And guess what? Before he died, he was like a professor.
Yes.
He discovered a tomb in Egypt full of jewels worth millions of dollars.
Yes.
And apparently... he didn't have kids. He didn't leave the money to anyone.
Yep, he doesn't have a will.
Louis the Lug is like, all right, you're going to claim that you're actually his widow, and we're going to get your common law married.
Yeah, and he's like, the law is if a guy tells people on the boardwalk in Atlantic City that a girl is his wife, then she is officially his common law wife. And I'm like, flawless logic. Perfect. Now, the amount, because I did math, he left.
Thank you.
$77 million. Now, that's in 1934. That's a lot of money today. Now, today, that is $1,660,000,000. It is.
I could do so much damage.
I could open up
with that.
I could do so many things. I could have so many houses. I
could buy a single apartment in New York City.
I could go on one shopping trip to Dean and DeLuca.
Yes, I could maybe go to Whole Foods.
Oh boy. Okay, great.
If there's anything left over.
Yes. So, and then we'll get a Starbucks coffee if there's anything left. So Louis is like, Dot, you should claim this. You're the common law wife. Where is this fortune? Egypt.
And Dot's like, do you mean Egypt? And he goes, yeah.
And he's like, that's exactly what I said.
We'll hop a train tonight. We'll go. She's like, you can't get to Egypt by train.
You can't get there from here. And so cut to a lawyer's office.
There are 2 lawyers in this office. The office is Benton, Lauren, and Slade. Yeah. There are 2 men. They've been investigating the dead guy's heir. The dead guy's last name is Wilson. Yes. We'll call him Dr. Wilson. And one of them has news. He goes, hey, turns out he actually had a son. Yeah. And I found the son. He's living in Brooklyn. His father, he never knew his father. His father disappeared 23 years ago. Yep. And so the other lawyer, whose last name I don't know. Lawyer 1 and lawyer 2. His last hit. This is Slade, because it's Benton, Lauren, and Slade. So Slade is like, all right, here's the plan. I'm gonna go find the son, and I'm gonna bring him to Egypt, and our associate will meet you in Gibraltar, which is where the boat gets into port. Yes. So this like haughty-taughty business lawyer goes
waiter
to
of a
the
lawyer
barge. The waiter, truly the waiter of this film, goes to the barge in the the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Oh god, it's
where
very sketch.
this kid lives.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently he's been living with his stepfather and his 3 stepbrothers. So he goes to the barge, he hops on a boat and knocks on the door, and a woman answers, and she's like, "Oh, you're looking for Eddie? He lives on the boat further down." And
Eddie something Wilson Jr.
Yeah, Eddie
He's
Jr.
got his Eddie Jr.
He basically has his dad's name. And so she goes back inside and she's like, "Eddie, are you here?" And he like pops out of the oven and 7 other children appear out of nowhere.
Oh, that's so many.
And they're like, "Oh, this guy was looking for you, but I sent him away. We're wondering if he's here because someone complained about your stepbrothers beating you." And I'm like, "What?"
Oh my god.
And then they like start showing bruises that his stepbrothers gave him, and the kids argue about which one's bigger. It's a little bit weird.
It is. So Eddie is played by
Eddie Cantor.
Eddie Cantor. I had him. I was like, are they both named
Yes.
Eddie? They are. Our main character is played by Eddie Cantor. He's supposed to be like early 20s. And that is the thing.
Actor's
He
like
has
42
3
right
older
now.
Oh my god, he's so old. He has 3 older stepbrothers and a stepfather, and they all just beat the shit out of him all the time because he's kind of like a pipsqueak.
Yeah. He's a small guy.
He's a small guy. We cut to the other end of the barge. I don't know where we meet very briefly the father and the sons, and we establish, oh yeah, they're just a bunch of goons and they beat each other up for fun. Yeah. The lawyer then comes into their end of the barge and was like, "Oh, hello, I'm a lawyer and I'm looking for Eddie Wilson Jr." Yeah. And the stepfather's like, "Oh, what if he did anything bad? We don't claim him. He's on his own.
We'll beat him up for you if you want." And then the lawyer is a big old dummy.
Bad lawyer.
And it's just like, "No, I'm looking for him because he's inherited $77 million. And then suddenly the brothers are like, and they're like, "Do you have the money on you?" And I'm like, "You're about to get murdered."
I was like, "No, I'm sorry. In what world is anyone carrying on their person
$77 million
in this small briefcase?" That's what I was laughing at. I was like, they have no concept of that.
Who does?
Much money that is, because they're like, "Oh, you have it with you."
No one's ever seen that much in cash.
No.
So cut to the other end of the barge. Eddie is leading a band of children, and by a band I mean literally they have instruments.
It's a children's orchestra of street urchins, essentially. Yeah. And Eddie, while he's conducting, yes, none of them are actually playing.
No, I did look for a harp,
but Eddie sees. I know. For once, there's no harp in this film. Eddie sees a large, fancy cruise liner essentially come into New York Harbor, and we get the song "When My Ship Comes In," and he starts to sing, and he's dreaming of what his life would be like if he's rich.
He has money one day.
The kids are supposedly playing the instrumental accompaniment.
Nope.
Definitely aren't.
And he talks about, all of these things that I would do, and his girlfriend, Nora Toots, I'm not really sure. Toots.
Nora, it is both. It is Nora,
parentheticals,
in quotations, Toots.
Yeah, she's there, and he's like, "Oh, I'll buy you a car, I'll buy you 2. Like, he's obviously very much in love with her, and he's like, "I'll open up a free ice cream factory for all the children," and like all of this crazy stuff. Horrible idea. And so it's just a very easy, charming "I Want" song. And
when my ship comes in, it's actually a nice song.
It is.
I like it.
And it ends with Eddie's stepbrothers coming around and yelling for him, and the kids scatter. And Nora and Eddie hide in her boat. The brothers come in, and they catch a kid, and they're like, "Where's Eddie?" And so to stop them from like threatening this child, Eddie pops out and is like, "Stop. I'll do whatever you want." And so they're like, "We missed you, Eddie." And they grab him and haul him back to their boat.
And they literally give him the clothes off their backs, but they're
so much larger than him.
Inherently, they are so much larger than he is that like he one of them gives him their coat and
hat,
their shirt, and then they start fighting over who gets to give Eddie what. Like I want to give him this. I want him to wear my hat. Yeah, like I'm giving him a cigar. Well, I'm gonna light it, and they just essentially beat Eddie up by accident because they're fighting over who gets to wait on him. Yeah. They have not said why they're doing this.
Eddie's very
confused.
confused.
Then the lawyer comes in. lawyer comes back and he's like, hey, are you Eddie Wilson Jr.? And Eddie's like, yes, I am. He goes, all right, congratulations. You've inherited $77 million. And then Eddie, very understandably, screams and faints.
This is also how I would respond if someone burst into my life and was like, Grace, you now have $77 million. I also would go, ah! And then fall over.
Dead faint. My favorite interstitial or my favorite action of cut to the ocean.
It's like Exit
Which is
Pursued by Bear, but it's the movie version of that. It's like cut to ocean.
And what I feel like that's happened in so many
movies.
You've seen, like cut
But
to ocean liner.
But it's always in like the 30s through the 60s. It's like from the 60s onwards, we forgot that boats were basically when flights across the Atlantic became a thing.
That's the thing.
They're just like, this is no longer a plot
other
point.
options. Sorry, watching you have the thought process of like, yeah, until the 60s we had a lot of boats.
Oh,
boats anymore. Oh, right.
Airplanes.
Aeroplanes.
Eddie's now very fancy.
Yeah, he's up on deck of the ship, and he has a little camera, very period appropriate, on a tripod, and he's trying to get a picture of himself. It's just a quick bit of physical comedy where the tripod keeps sliding.
And he keeps sliding down.
And he keeps like sliding with it to get it. And then we cut to the bar of the cruise liner, and guess who's there?
Colonel
Grandpa. Colonel Grandpa from The Little Colonel is there.
Oh no. And
I called him that the entire film.
Yes.
I know he has a name.
No, but I called him just the Colonel because I was like, oh look, it's like Colonel Grandpa Sanders again. And then he actually is a colonel. And I was just like, great, no name required.
I don't know this character's name. It could be the same actor. I have no idea.
It is.
Can you imagine if it's the same actor?
Fuck it. I don't think it is. No, because he's Canadian. The character's name is Colonel Harrison Larrabee.
That's right. It's Larrabee. Anyway.
Colonel Grandpa.
He looks just like
Same
Colonel
person.
Grandpa from The Little Colonel. Yeah. He's drinking a mint julep
yes, he is.
at sea. And he's at the bar. And he gets a telegram. Mm-hmm. The telegram tells him that the heir to the Wilson fortune has been found and that this colonel should get in contact with him. And the colonel, this is not the news he wanted because it turns out the colonel is also on his way to Egypt to lay claim to the fortune because the colonel essentially financed the professor who found the jewels' expedition. Yes. So he feels like he has a rightful claim to the discovery because he paid for that.
Absolutely. And he's a part of an Egyptological, did I say that correctly? Society. You know, good enough for government work. He's a part of the society and he is their representative. So he is going to claim this treasure. And he's very upset that now there is another claimant.
He is traveling with his niece, Joan.
Yes.
So after getting this news, he abandons the mint julep, orders a whiskey straight, and then goes to find his niece.
Yeah. And so he has a steward go to find her. Cut back to Eddie trying to take the picture of himself. A lady comes up and is like, oh, do you want help? I can take this picture for you.
Yeah, like a pretty blonde lady.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, that would be so great. I want to send it back to my girl in Brooklyn. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Go up to the deck and like strike a pose. And so he like sits on the edge and like looks into the distance.
Of the railing.
Yeah. And so
like a very posed
picture. And she's like, okay, don't move. And just as she's about to take the picture, the steward comes up and is like, oh, your uncle is looking for you. And it seems very important. He's very upset. And she's like, oh, I have to go right now. And so she just dips. And Eddie is just stuck in this pose because he can't see that she's gone. And she said, don't move.
We haven't established this. Eddie's also a goon.
Oh, yes.
In that he's not the brightest knife in the
but he's
toolbox.
Very sweet.
Very, very sweet. He's not a goonish gangster like Louis is. He's just
a goon.
He's just a goon. He's just a big dummy, and we love him.
Yeah.
And he's great with physical comedy.
Oh, he's so good.
A lot of the comedy of this film is that he's not
dummy.
The brightest.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So she leaves and goes to her uncle. Now, a part of this telegram says that the representative, the lawyer representative that's going to be coming, his name is Jerry, and he'll be coming on at Gibraltar. And she reads it and she's like, oh my God, amazing. Jerry is my boyfriend. And so she's
perfect
timing. I haven't seen him in 2 years. I'm so excited to see him. And Colonel Grandpa is just like, you're missing the point. cut to Dot and Louie.
Turns out,
surprise,
Dot and Louie are also on this boat.
there's only one boat.
No, there's only one boat to Gibraltar. This takes place in their room.
Yeah, they have a room.
And Louie's just
A dummy.
dumb. But Dot, she's like, hey, look, I got a copy of the ship's registrar. And guess who's on... Oh, here's his full name. Guess who's on this ship? There's someone on this ship named Edward Wilson Grant Jr.
Yes.
I bet this is the
That's
guy's
the
son.
Yeah.
That's a son. He definitely has a better claim to the money than I do.
Yeah. And Louie stands up and is like, I'm gonna go murder him.
Yeah, my solution is to murder him.
And Dot is just
knock
like,
out the competition.
Listen, we are done on a boat, and it's not like you can just get in a taxi and disappear afterwards, so maybe we should plan this a little better than just murdering him. Murder. There's a lot of murder in this, guys.
Yeah.
So
Dot has it's his MO, but
Yeah.
Dot has an idea. She's like, I'm gonna go meet Eddie and I'm gonna get his signature.
yes.
We then cut to see Dot strutting up to Eddie's room, kind of dressed like a widow, but in like a
Just
very
in all black with
form-fitting
a
black
veil.
dress. With a
Fucking
veil.
love it.
She knocks on his door.
Yep.
And she's like, Eddie? He's like, yes. He goes, Eddie Wilson? Yes.
Yes.
Eddie Wilson Grant Jr.? Yes. And she's like, it's your mother. And they tearfully embrace.
Oh my god, it's wild. Oh.
There is no world in which 26... No, I don't even know how old Dot's supposed to be. Eddie's
She says she's
23.
19.
Yeah, she's
And
like...
Eddie says he's 23.
But he's so dumb. He's like, wow. Instead of being like, that makes no sense.
I love it. So she sits him down and she's like, oh, you look just like your father. And I bet you sound just like your father. And I bet you write just like your father. Give me your signature for mother. Like, it's so funny.
And he's like, oh, what shall I write on? She's like, here, I have this piece of paper handy. And she pulls it out of her bosom. And it's a contract.
Yes.
She's like, just sign here where it says this X. And he goes, what does this mean? He goes, oh, it's not important.
Pay no attention to the
produces
contract behind the curtain.
She pulls out a fountain ink pen from her bosom as well.
And a blotter. She is
blotter.
prepared. And so he goes to sign it, but he can't get the pen to work, so he shakes it and it splurts on the wall.
Explodes.
And so he like, oh, I gotta clean it. And she's like, don't worry about that now. Just sign the paper.
Sign the paper for mama.
And so just when he signs it, there's another knock on the door and Louie bursts in and is like, did you get the signature?
Did you sign it? And she's like, and Dot immediately stands up and kind of pushes him outside, being like, oh, just a moment, Junior.
Well,
And she's like,
she does
"You stay
introduce
here."
him as
Oh, that's
his
right,
uncle.
That's right.
So she's like, this is your Uncle Louie. Don't worry about it. I gotta talk to him outside.
Yeah, she's like, to Louie, she's like, you stay in the hallway and don't try to help
Stop
me.
helping.
And then she goes back in. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. He interrupted us. Now, can I have that signature?" And he's like, "Oh, it's in my pocket in my vest.
Suit
But
coat, yeah.
before, I want to know more about my early life that I can't remember." And so she's just plays along. She's like, "Oh, we played Tickle Me," and she tries to get the paper out of his jacket. Then they play Leapfrog, and she just
tackles him to the ground.
and tries to get it. She just keeps trying to get the contract out of his pocket.
But like,
just then,
as she tackles him to the ground and starts tickling him, which looks very suspicious, just then Joan enters and is just like, I have walked in on something that I am not comfortable with. And Eddie is just like, oh no, don't worry, it's my mother. And she's like, that's not better.
that doesn't help us.
No. So Joan leaves.
Yeah. Eddie gets up to chase after Joan, because Eddie only knows her as the girl that
Helped
was
him with
taking
the
his
picture?
photograph
Yeah.
on the boat. Yeah. But
Dot stops
Dot
him.
calls after him. He's like, wait, no, I need the signature before you go. So Eddie, instead of giving her the whole contract, just rips his signature off the paper, rendering the entire thing useless.
Yeah.
And he gives the signature to Dot,
She's
but
like,
because it's no longer attached to the contract, it is
useless.
it is useless.
Oh, so funny. All right, so
All right,
cut to Gibraltar. Jerry and Joan are reunited. They haven't seen each other for 2 years, and they're very happy to see each other. Cut to the bar. Louie and
Yes,
the
cut to
Colonel Grandpa.
Colonel Grandpa Yeah, and it's just a silly bit where Louis is the Colonel is explaining a battle that he was involved in.
Yeah.
And Louis is just so thick. The Colonel essentially just tries to trick Louis out of his drink, and Louis catches him. But they ultimately end up squabbling,
arguing,
trying to impress each other, trying to they're showboating. He's like, "Well, I have $77 million."
It's like,
and
well, I have that too.
Yeah, and they realize that they
are both
here it
talking
is.
about the same fortune.
What happens is the Colonel says, "Well, I have to go to Egypt to get the fortune. I'm on my way to Egypt to get the fortune." And Louis has the only thought,
the only light bulb that has ever appeared above his head.
Film. And he goes, "Wait." And essentially realizes they're both trying to lay claim to the same fortune.
Yeah. And Louis starts threatening the Colonel. And
again, only solution is murder.
Murder. He has one spell in his handbook, and it is murder.
One tactic.
Just then, Jerry walks in, and the Colonel is just like, "Oh, good, Jerry, just confirm to this asshole that the fortune belongs to me." And Jerry is like, "You are both swindlers."
And you're both wrong.
And you're both wrong. Wilson's last word was that he wanted his son to have his fortune, and I am here to make sure that his son gets it. And Jerry also implies that Wilson never received any money from the Colonel or that society that he's a part of. He received the first shipment and never again, and he kind of implies that the Colonel was stealing that money and saying he was sending it to the doctor, but never actually did.
Louis also tries to pitch his case and talking about how Dot is the widow, and Lane's just like, bullshit. He was never married.
Nope.
There is no widow. The professor's last words was that the money goes to his son. Neither of you have a valid claim.
Yes. Now, after he accuses the Colonel, Joan hears all of this and storms out and is very upset. And Jerry runs after her and tries to explain. She's like, no, you just accused my uncle of being a swindler. I'm going to need you to go and apologize to him. And he's like, I absolutely will not.
Absolutely not.
And so she storms off.
Yeah. But she also says, like, I know for a fact my uncle sent money every single month.
So just because it didn't arrive isn't his fault.
Yeah.
Cut to Louis walking into his cabin.
Louis gives Dot an update that, guess what? There's another person trying to claim this fortune. He tells her about the Colonel, and Louis again, they're like, I'm gonna kill Eddie.
Yeah.
And Dot's like, I'll
take care of the old guy.
Just then.
No, but he calls it, wait, I have to tell you. So he's like, oh, this Colonel from an Egypt optical company. I was like, yes, Egypt optical company. Correct, sir.
I missed that. Oh my God.
It was so good. I had to tell you. I'm sorry.
Eddie then comes into the cabin because he still thinks Dot is his mother and Louis is his uncle.
For the entire movie.
We literally got to the end. I was like,
does he still think that Dot is his mother? Oh my God.
Eddie comes to visit them. He's like, hi, Uncle Louis. Hi, Mama. And Louis says, oh, you know what, Eddie? Let's go for a walk because you seem a little... Are you seasick? I will, let's go for a walk and I'll cure you of your seasick. Yeah. Louis' proposal to get rid of Eddie's seasickness is he blindfolds him.
Well, so he
puts
says,
him in a wheelchair.
You know what makes you sick is looking at the horizon. As someone who has been on a boat, no. The thing that makes you feel better from seasickness is looking at the horizon. Blindfolding you makes it worse.
But what is it? He says, he was like, it's that moving thing up and down.
Up and down. And they're like, the horizon?
The horizon? The equator?
Yeah. So he ties a scarf around his eyes and puts him into a very convenient wheelchair and then takes him to the edge of the deck.
Takes him to an empty corner of the boat where no one else is. He finds a gate that essentially opens up the banister.
The railing.
Guardrail? Yeah. And puts it aside and essentially tries to push Eddie off the ship.
But the roll
boat
of the ship.
Rocking. And Eddie just keeps like almost rolling off the ship and then rolling back. And he's blindfolded. He has no idea. And you just see Louis getting more and more frustrated.
I know. And so finally, Eddie takes off the blindfold. He was like, oh, that's enough.
Like,
Thank you. I'm done with that now. Oh, let me take a picture of you, Louis. And Louis like, aha, let me take a picture of you. But you need to back up so that you're in frame. Keep backing up, and eventually Eddie rolls himself off the side of the ship.
But there is no splash. dear reader. Louis did not know to listen for the splash.
No.
Just then Dot comes around the corner, seeing Louis walk away triumphantly. She's like, what happened? Were you successful? And Louis is like, oh yeah, I took care of it. And then we hear from like far below, Uncle Louis! And it's because the wheelchair got stuck on the side of the ship.
And he didn't fall out of the chair.
In the ocean.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Cut to Eddie chatting with...
He's also like, did you get my picture?
He's like, did you get the picture?
Not even registering that
a single
attempted murder.
Yeah, no, it's like whenever that screensaver almost hits the corner, but it just bounces off and goes in the opposite direction.
Just like that.
So cut to Eddie chatting with Jerry. Jerry is sad because Joan's still mad at him. And Eddie is just like, here, just take $20 million. That'll make you feel better. And I'm like, yes, it would. Thank you.
It would make me feel
Don't
better.
mind if I do.
Eddie essentially figures out that it's a girl that Jerry is upset about.
Yes.
Doesn't realize that it's Joan.
Right.
And Eddie's like, oh, you know what? Forget about your old girl. I just met a great girl on this boat. I will set you up with her. And actually, she's singing in the show tonight, and they need a guy to do the duet with her, and I can't do it. So will you do it? Otherwise she's going to be singing alone. Her song won't work.
Yeah, her song requires a guy
this evening.
Yeah, and so Eddie drags him to a rehearsal space, and surprise, surprise, it's Joan. And they see each other and are big mad about it. It's like hate at first sight. And he's like, oh, so this is the girl you were hung up on, and this is the guy you're heartsick about. And both of them are like, don't be absurd.
No.
So Eddie is like, well, you have to sing with someone. You promised me that you would sing with her. And then there's this whole bit where they refuse to speak to each other, so they only speak through Eddie, and it's a big repeating bit.
But yeah, we get a really silly gag of Joan telling Eddie to tell Jerry, and Jerry telling Eddie to tell Joan,
back and forth forever. Yeah. And then they start to
what
rehearse.
It made me think of? That scene in Harry Potter where Ron and Harry won't talk to each other, and Hermione's ultimately like,
I'm not an owl! Yes, exactly. Same vibes. They start to rehearse, and Joan sings... Begrudgingly rehearse. And Joan sings Your Head on My Shoulder. They're sitting together, shoulder to shoulder on the piano. And Jerry keeps, like, going in to kiss her, and she's not thrilled about it. And he ends up singing his verse, and she kind of softens a bit.
Yeah, it seems like they're reaching a reconciliation, and then the song ends, and she remembers she's supposed to be mad at him, so she storms away.
Yeah.
Cut to a poster advertising the show's performance, and they call the concert, they say it's Minstrel Night. We see Dot sit open, and Dot's singing in the show as well.
Yeah, everyone is.
We see a lot of well-dressed audience members, and then we get to Eddie's dressing room where he's getting ready for the show. All right. Content warning. This is where we see Eddie getting into blackface for this minstrel show.
Yes.
That's this now.
And it has no purpose in the plot. I was talking to someone about this where I was just like, if it had been like, oh, I need to escape and there's a disguise and that had happened, it's not acceptable, but I would have understood it as a plot point and been like, this is 1934, fine, yeah. I'm not happy about it. But no, there's no plot, there's no point, it's just awful.
Yeah, it's not acceptable either way.
No.
But it is especially egregiously unnecessary because it truly does not move the plot forward.
At all.
It is wholly unnecessary.
Yes.
All right, essentially, there's like 20 backup dancers. There's Eddie
like
in blackface.
50. Oh my god, there's so many.
There's a lot. Do you know, one of my fun facts is about this. Is it one of your fun facts as well? Because there are no other fun facts,
so we have the same fun fact?
Yes.
Great.
Yes, I figured we would. Yeah. I honestly figured we would. Dot is singing. Jerry is there.
He's like
and
the MC.
Sings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joan pops up and they sing.
Yeah.
The song is called Mandy and Me. There's no need for this number. Then we get Joan and Jerry's duet.
I didn't know that this
again,
was still a part of the show. I was just like, suddenly they're outside on the deck.
There's like because here's what happens. They move into their duet within the show, and then we get a dream sequence of them where it moves. I don't even remember if they were technically on the ship or not, but suddenly we've completely changed costumes.
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know, hoop skirts and
Bo
ball
peep
dancing.
debutante
Yeah.
floofy dresses with hoop skirts that are 6 feet wide. Maintain your distance.
I think it was a dream sequence of them falling in love again.
Maybe.
While they duetted this song, because then it ends and
goes
they
back.
we go back to the minstrel show.
Yeah.
They're lost in each other's eyes to the point where Eddie and Dot have to like elbow them.
It's like
we have
the
to finish
finale.
the show.
I will say Joan is in a fabulous sparkly tux, and I would like that tux.
Yes.
So we get the final bit. There are these 2 kids who have tap dancing.
2 African American kids
Yes.
have a tap solo
They're
that is fantastic.
so good.
Highlight of the film,
Yeah,
honestly,
it
for
was
me.
so fantastic. So the chorus girls are all sitting behind with the tambourines, and then another one of my giggles happens where they're all like passing the tambourines to each other, and one of the girls' top hats gets knocked off and falls into the lap further down, and I was like, oh no!
I didn't notice that. I did clock that one of them looked absolutely miserable.
Oh yes, there was a lot of that going on.
I wonder how many times they had to do that.
So anyway, the song ends. Cut to Alexandria.
Cut to Alexandria. All right, actually, really, really quickly, my homework is gonna be to look up the Nicholas brothers, who were that tap dancing duo.
Oh, great.
I just wanted to see if you had anything about
I had
that.
no homework.
You know who they are? They're the dancers from Stormy Weather.
Oh! Ooh.
They grow up to be the dancers from Stormy Weather.
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, my homework is to read up on them. They're really, really interesting.
That's awesome. I will pick
Nothing
on
to
that.
do with this film at all.
No, but honestly, that's all that we need.
I just didn't know if you had clocked that on Wikipedia, because it did mention the Nicholas brothers.
Yes, it did.
Great.
Cool.
Cut to Alexandria.
They're getting off the boat, finally. So Colonel Grandpa and Joan get off, and Colonel is shady for some reason. He is like, I'll go handle the baggage and other things, and then just runs off. And I'm like, what is this referencing?
I don't know. Maybe his outstanding bills.
Yeah.
Jerry tries to get on Joan's good side, and she's still frosty with him.
Yep.
Cut to Dot and Louie also getting off the boat.
Yeah, and they're like, we got 24 hours to claim the money.
Yeah, before no, it's not the they have to do it within the next, they have to get the money within the next, before Eddie does.
Yeah.
So they're like giving themselves this deadline of 24 hours. It's
Um,
essentially that they need to get it before Eddie does. And Louie's like, don't worry, I took care of it.
Yeah.
I've hired 4 scary dock workers
Like ne'er-do-wells.
to kidnap Eddie.
And
to kidnap
murder
Eddie
him.
and kill him.
I honestly,
Oh my God.
I don't understand. Dot is a very smart person. I don't quite understand why she's with Louis. Like, the dick must be good, because there's no reason for her to be with this man.
She had so many good lines.
Oh.
And I wrote down
None of them.
because again, it was so fast.
It was so good. Anyway,
Okay.
so just then Eddie gets off the boat and he's like, Mama!
Yeah, he still thinks that's his mom.
Yeah, it never stops. And so he's excited to explore Egypt, but first he has to go see and claim this treasure. And so Dot is like, oh, Louis will take you there. Wink, wink. And Eddie gives his stuff to Dot to hold. And you know what his stuff is? A racket, a saxophone, and a bird in a cage. All the things you need to go to Egypt.
It makes me think of like when kids pack their luggage and it's like Cheetos
And a stuffed animal.
floaties. Yeah. Like a can of beans. Like nothing useful.
No. So cut to a market.
Yeah. Louis is leading Eddie, like they have the address and he's helping him get there, but they stop and watch a magic show.
Street magician.
At this market. Yeah. And it's definitely a white man in brown face and a fake beard.
Every single person of color in this movie
all right.
is actually a white person in brown face, y'all. It's
But it's definitely, this magician is definitely a white man in brown face pretending to be a seer magician.
Kind of.
What's the word I want for like?
I just called him a street magician.
Sure, we'll call him a street magician. We'll stick with that.
Like he's doing this for money. So like basically has an audience gathered around him. So he has a big basket and a kid with him, and he was like, I will put this kid into a basket. I'll say the magic words, and I'll turn him into a dog, and a dog will hop out of the basket. And so this kid gets in, and he throws a blanket over it, and he like tells the kid, "Oh, are you in there?" And the kid yells back to confirm he's in there, and then he says the magic words, which of course are abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Then he takes it off, and then out pops a wiener dog. And the whole crowd is like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, you know those the fully a blonde child and a wiener dog.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you.
And Louis is just trying to get Eddie away from this so he can go murder him in an alley. And Eddie is just like, "Oh my God, that is magic!" And Louis is just like, "No, it's not.
Yeah.
Bullshit." And so the magician is just
Come on,
like,
why are we waiting? Why are we
why
spending
are we
our
around
time
here? And the magician is just like, "You don't believe me? You get in the basket and I'll turn you into a dog." And so Louis is peer pressured by everyone in the crowd to get into the basket, which he fucking does. He gets into the basket. Surprise, there's a trap door underneath. So Louis falls through, and there's two guys under there with a dog and a mallet, and they beat him into unconsciousness. And they steal his cigar and push the dog up with the cigar in its mouth, and they're like, "Look, it's Louis."
And Eddie's like, "Oh my God, they turned my uncle into a dog."
No.
And so Eddie is chasing this dog through the market being like, Louis, what do I do?
I'm so sorry. And so the dog runs off and sees a woman on a camel with some sausages. Guys, it's a lot. And so the dog...
It's like a caravan on a... It's like, what's the word
like
for it? She's not sitting on the camel. She's on like...
kind of thing
on the camel.
And so the dog hops up because it wants these sausages, and
the camel is kneeling, for the record.
Yes.
The dog does not leap
onto
like 6 feet in the ground.
So the camel is kneeling, and the woman starts screaming, "A bear! A bear!
A bear!"
Oh my God, the accents. The accents.
I have
They're
so
all
many
from
questions.
Brooklyn. Every single person in this movie is from Brooklyn.
Oh my God.
So anyway.
A bear, she's screaming, and Eddie hops in with her, and he's like, "It's not a bear, it's a
very small dog."
It's a very small dog, but he stops, he puts himself between the dog and
pushes the dog
screaming
off of,
young woman
off of the thing, and she's like, I want to express my gratitude, and she keeps kissing him, and Eddie's very confused.
Yeah, she fully kisses him, and she's like, she instantly falls in love with Eddie.
And she reveals that she is the daughter of a sheik.
Cool. This young woman introduces herself. Her name is Princess Fanya. She's the daughter of the sheik. She invites Eddie back to the palace so her
she
father
has the most obnoxious laugh.
Oh my gosh, she's just the most obnoxious character.
She's the worst character.
She invites Eddie back to the palace so that her father can properly thank him. And she's literally just throwing herself all over Eddie.
Cut to Dot walking through the town. And she runs
and discovering
into Louis.
Unconscious in an alley. And he has no idea what happened. And he doesn't know where Eddie has gone.
No.
Cut to
the sheik's palace.
The sheik's palace in Alexandria. And the sheik is... once again, a white man in brown face with a very big beard and turban headdress. And the sheik is being presented the treasure that the professor found. It is essentially in a chest, lots of jewels, and the sheik is so happy that he has been presented with it because, in his opinion, the professor discovering it was the professor ransacking the tomb of his ancestors. Yeah. It's a great disgrace, and he swears that he will kill anyone that claims they are the proper owner of this treasure.
Fair.
Valid.
Yeah.
Valid.
Because honestly, my question is, when does it start being archaeology, and when does it stop being grave robbing?
Yep. You should ask the English that. This is when the point where I was like, this plot is so complicated.
It's so convoluted.
Because we have so many people. Also, and this is really, really small. The sheik says, essentially, I will kill the Wilson heir whenever they arrive to try and claim this treasure.
Yes.
He also, the attendant that is presenting the jewels to him is also a white man in brown face in like a loincloth.
Assume it keeps happening, because it does.
Yeah. Just then, Princess Fanya arrives with Eddie in the palace, and a man in a also like very finely dressed from the palace comes out to embrace her. She pushes him off.
Yeah, this
goes
is
to
an
hug her
advisor.
father instead. No, this is her fiance.
I didn't think that they were actually affianced. I thought that he's just like,
They
no,
are-
I'm gonna marry her, because she doesn't she doesn't.
The internet said he was her fiance.
Oh.
Whether she's accepted the proposal or not,
unclear.
remains- but
Fair
also-
enough. He is
yeah.
very into her.
Yes, his name is Ben Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie meets the father
Mm-hmm.
and the fiance, who is the father's very, very grateful for Eddie saving Fanya.
From a
the
tiger,
fiance's
she
very
says.
jealous. Yeah, the fiance is very jealous and says, "I would, if anyone ever tried to take Fanya away from me, I would kill her,
And Eddie,
not the other
No.
person."
I
would kill her.
awful. And Eddie's like, you can fucking have her. I don't want her.
Yeah, I did not ask
sign up
for
for
her.
this. But so Fanya starts like giving this insane story about a wild
Oh my
tiger
gosh.
that Eddie killed in the marketplace, like had a claws around her throat, and then there was a lion, and then there was a cheetah. Like, it was just some wild shit, and she keeps increasing the story, and the sheik is like, oh, we'll invite him to dinner, we'll invite him to stay at the palace. And then cut to a dance with a lot of white ladies dressed as angels
Cut to all the ensemble dancers from
the ship.
from the ship show, and now they have just been fully repurposed as these ensemble dancers at the sheik's palace.
Yeah.
All Caucasian women
Mhm.
with contemporary for the time hairdos and makeup.
Yeah.
In essentially what does feel like
Angel.
angels in like Christmas time pageant
Yeah.
dresses.
Now,
Eddie
and the sheik are
they're
smoking
dancing around like
hookah.
a pool.
Yeah.
They're watching the dances, and the sheik's and Eddie's like his like, do they work for you? And the sheik's like, no, these are all my wives.
Yeah.
I have 125 wives.
Yeah.
And Eddie's like,
Oh, I know.
okay.
They have some like banter back and forth about divorce, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, what do you do when you divorce someone? Do they get alimony? Like, it's a whole thing.
Eddie then asks like, what is this thing that you're smoking? And the sheik gives him, he's like, well, you can try
Yeah.
it. Eddie takes a very big inhale
And inhales
and-
all the water.
all the water and spits the hookah water all over the sheik.
Oh no! And the sheik is about to like yell
I don't
for
know,
do something,
him.
murder. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just then Fanya comes running in and says that, oh, Ben Ali asked for a kiss, but I slapped him. Don't worry. And then Eddie is like, can you please leave my space? And she's like, not until you give me something, hinting that she wants a kiss from him. So there's like this whole lollipop bit where he gives her a lollipop that's like wrapped in paper. He's like, no, you
eats the
take the
paper.
paper off and then you eat it. And so she like takes the paper off and then eats the paper and then laughs like an insane witch and then leaves.
She has a very, very obnoxious laugh.
Yeah.
Honestly, this actress knew what she was doing.
Oh,
she was
she
very
played
good at
the
making
part.
his character annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. But the
so-
sheik is still irritated that he's all wet. He's like, I have a date tonight.
Yeah.
So I have to go get changed. Don't tell my wives that I have a date.
Yeah, but I'm going into town to see this dancer. And he's like, can I trust you with my wives? And Eddie shows him a picture of Nora of Toots back in New York. He's like, you can absolutely trust me. I love Nora. I love her with my whole heart. I don't want anyone else. And so the sheik leaves, and Eddie says, I'll stay true to her no matter what. And then in come all of the wives.
Immediately the wives essentially tackle Eddie to the ground, but he is steadfast in his love for Nora.
Toots.
And then we get the song Okay Toots.
Yeah.
Which is essentially Eddie saying, like, you can't tempt me with anything. Everything is okay as long as I have Toots in my life.
Yeah. During the very end of the song, Fanya comes in and sees him looking at the picture and rips it up, so he pushes her into a pool. It was great.
She rips up his photo.
What
I
a
was so
bitch.
mad. But then he pushed her in the pool, and I was like,
yeah,
yes, you deserve that.
Cut to the sheik's throne room. A guy comes in later. A guy comes in saying that the heir is here to claim the treasure, and in walks in Dot and Louie. So Louis introduces Dot as the widow of Wilson, and the Sheik stands up and is just like, so you're the heir? And just when he's about to order murder, in rushes Colonel Grandpa. And he's like, I have a claim. And he's like,
I'm the heir.
And so, what? And then in walks Jerry, and he's like, actually, I'm here on behalf of the actual heir to claim that, and these people are just liars.
Yeah, the Sheik is very overwhelmed. He hates that Jerry even mentioned the professor's name, and he explains, like, look, someone be honest with me, because I have sworn on my ancestors' honor that I am going to kill the heir of Dr. Wilson, and they will be boiled alive in castor oil. And so Dot and Louis,
suddenly everyone
Grandpa
forgets
and Jerry are all like, well, actually, I don't know if we are
was that guy?
We're claiming.
Was I actually married? I've forgotten my ex-husband's
Did I
name.
say that?
And so
the Sheik demands, like, again, just like, tell me what's going on. And just then
Eddie rushes
arrives.
in.
Oh, what is it? Hang on, no. What happens
He's
is
like,
the Sheik is
tell
like,
me
shouts
who
at
is
them.
the
Like,
heir of Eddie Wilson Grant?
Grant.
And Eddie rushes in being like, did someone call my name?
Like, did I hear my name? You missed the junior at the end. And the Sheik is super, super confused. Yeah. And they all try to cover for Eddie. They're like, oh no,
Jerry's
this
like,
guy's crazy.
You aren't the heir. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. And Eddie, dumb as a bucket of a rock, being like, no, Jerry, you're not going to trick me.
Why would you betray
I know I'm
me?
the heir.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Sheik's like, sorry, Eddie, I gotta kill you.
Yeah. And he's like, I like you, but an oath is an oath. And he's like, there's no way out of it. And Eddie's like, what about the door? So the Sheik has Eddie taken away and imprisons the others. He's like, I'll kill the men later and I'll marry the women. Problem solved. Cut to a vat of boiling oil. Anna, how long did it take to get that much oil boiling? It must have been days.
Well, it's just always going, I think.
Yeah, he's like, ever since I heard about the heir, I've had it ready, just in case.
Ready to go. Eddie is brought into what is essentially a dungeon with this massive, massive hot tub, essentially full of boiling oil. Hot tub-sized cauldron. Yeah. Eddie is stripped of his clothes down to essentially a diaper. And then he is salt and peppered, essentially seasoned, because what's going to happen is he's going to be killed by being boiled in castor oil, and then he'll be made into soup for the camels.
Yeah, the camels are herbivores. Those poor camels.
That's the bone you have to pick with this movie.
My gripe is that camels are herbivores. So they tie his feet together. They tie Eddie's feet together and they lift him up. But Eddie grabs onto the Sheik's hands, and so the Sheik is lifted up with him. And they swing for a bit, but then eventually Eddie drops the Sheik. I thought he was going to drop the Sheik in the oil, and I was like, would have that have been wild? But he drops him into a group of guys over on the side, whatever. Just as they're about to dip him in the oil, in rushes Fania.
He is inches from the oil. The top of his head is inches from the oil. Fania comes in and goes, stop! And she whispers to the Sheik why Eddie can't be killed.
Right.
And it's revealed that Fania claims that Eddie kissed her on the camel back when they first met. So now, by the decrees of decorum and relationships and law, they have to be married.
Yeah. So they are like, oh, this means you have to marry Fania. And Eddie's like, drop me. Just put me in the oil.
I'd rather be boiled.
So they take him down.
But he is instead untrussed and immediately is swept away to be prepared for the wedding.
A shotgun
Tomorrow
wedding.
At noon, they get married.
Yeah. Cut to Eddie in a room with a leash on his neck attached to a rope.
Yeah, he's essentially locked in his room. He's a prisoner, so he can't escape before the wedding.
Yeah. In rushes Ben Ali, and he threatens to kill Eddie. There's a whole bit with a gun.
Yeah.
Where he tries to get Eddie to order Ben Ali to
say
fire.
Yeah. So Ben can say he shot him but didn't mean to with a clean conscience.
Because Eddie told him to fire, like the whole deal. But eventually Eddie convinces Ben Ali that if he helps him escape, then he will never see Fania again. Like, I'll just disappear.
Like, I don't want to marry her.
I don't want her. I just want my girl back home. And so Ben Ali is just like, dope. I will help you escape as long as you promise never to come back. And Eddie's like, hell yes.
Cut to our other Americans in the dungeon, they find a very convenient escape hatch in the floor of their cell, and they go down the ladder that's attached to it.
Yeah.
Cut back to Ben and Eddie in essentially a crypt below
like
the
a
palace.
Crypt temple of the ancestors sort of deal.
Yeah, it's the Chamber of the Dead. And Ben leads Eddie into it, and he goes, and there's a bunch of sarcophaguses in the bottom.
Sarcophagi.
And Ben said, sarcophagi. And Ben says to Eddie, all right, hide in an empty one, and I'll come back for you later. They'll discover you were missing, but no one will think to look for you here.
Right.
And then, okay, in the center of this Chamber of the Dead that is surrounded in sarcophaguses, there is the jewelry
the treasure chest
that has the treasure chest. I didn't recognize it from when we had seen it earlier when the Sheik is brought to the Sheik, and I was like, is this the Ark of the Covenant from Indiana Jones?
Don't open it. Close your eyes.
And then I called it the Ark of the Covenant for the rest of the film.
Great, fantastic. Eddie finds out that the treasure is in the middle of the room, but just then the Sheik walks in, so he hides in a sarcophagus. And
also, maybe someone is watching him?
I don't know.
Is watching Eddie? We find out why in a minute.
So the Sheik comes in and he starts praying to his ancestors. He's like, I know I swore to kill the heir, but I really like Eddie, and I don't know what to do. Please give me your wisdom. And just then, a crab crawls into the sarcophagus with Eddie, and he yelps, and the Sheik thinks it's an ancestor, and Eddie just kind of goes with it.
Yeah!
And the Sheik is just like, oh, well, you'll rest easier when all of the thieving Americans are dead. Fair.
Yeah. And the Sheik is like, all right, I don't want to kill Eddie, but I will appease you, and I will honor you how I said I would with a sacrifice, and I'll just kill all the other Americans instead.
It'll be fine. And then the other sarcophagi start to talk.
Start talking, because all the Americans that escaped from the dungeon are hiding in the other sarcophagi.
So everyone else is
all the men. It's all the men, because the girls
Where
have
are
been,
the women? We don't see them escape anyway.
No, we don't.
So they tell the Sheik to let the Americans go, and then they start a chorus of the song "Let My People Go."
Let my people go. I
wanted to scream. I
want to throw my computer. There's all these white people singing "Let My People Go."
Ugh.
Just them. The Sheik's advisors and a bunch of the Sheik's advisor and a couple servants come in.
Yes.
And they're like, "Oh, we've been looking for you." And the Sheik gives them an update being like, I spoke with the ancestors. We're not going to kill Eddie.
And this is the sarcophagus that my ancestor's voice was coming from. And so they all bow to it. And he's like, have it brought up to the throne room.
It's the one that has Eddie in it.
It's the one that has Eddie in it. Have it brought up to the throne room so that everyone may revel in this miracle and majesty. And so as two people are bringing it up the stairs.
No, the Sheik and the advisor leave. And the servants then start to carry the sarcophagus that Eddie is in up the stairs. Eddie speaks from within the sarcophagus.
He's like, please be careful.
Yes, and very understandably, the servants are like, what the
panic?
Fuck? They drop the sarcophagus
and run,
and they book it, and the sarcophagus ricochets like down these stairs and shatters. There's no way he doesn't have a million concussions.
No, but it breaks open and Eddie gets out. Back in the treasure room, Louis, with his eye on the prize, takes a blanket and steals all of the treasure from the Ark of the Covenant and just puts it in a blanket like a big old classic sack
like
with a money. I was shocked there wasn't a money sign on the bag. So a guard finds Jerry and the Colonel just walking around and is like, the Sheik has ordered your release. Come with me. And Ben Ali finds Eddie and is just like, come with me. I have an escape for you.
But first,
cut to Louis, who is working on his own escape plan. Louis has found a plane,
like a small airplane,
sure,
like a single passenger airplane. And he tosses the jewels in it, he starts it, and he's about to hop in, but then the other attendants intercept him. They're like, hey, you can't leave this way, you have to leave with the other Americans who are being released over here. So they drag Louis away, leaving the airplane running
with the jewels
Ben
in
Ali, with the jewels in it. Ben brings Eddie over, being like, all right, like, essentially, like, smack, like when you smack the back of a horse, basically, yeah, giddy up,
yeah,
essentially.
And Eddie's like, I don't want to get into a plane. I'm afraid of dying on the plane. And Ben Ali is like, the plane or you marry Fanya? And he's like, death by plane, let's go.
Death by plane. And the plane takes off. Eddie does not steer it. He gets into the air. He discovers the jewels. He goes, oh, someone left their laundry in this plane.
Almost
and
throws
he's
it out the plane.
To throw it over, but then he discovers the jewels. He goes, I'm gonna hold on to this.
Hold on to that. And then he basically just like closes his eyes and we just get this shot of a plane flying insanely. So are you going to say bless that pilot?
Stunt pilot?
Yeah, absolutely.
God bless that stunt pilot. Having just watched Top Gun.
Yes.
How far we have come.
So basically he just like closes his eyes and flies back to New York.
He flies from Alexandria in a single
biplane
to New York. And then we get the headline with Eddie's dumb face on the cover.
Oh
Boy millionaire to open free ice cream factory.
Because of course he fucking does.
Because of course
and
he
then
does.
we get the finale in color.
Which is in color.
Yeah. And so
And I was like, this could have been color?
Yeah.
This whole thing?
The whole thing. So all of the kids of New York come running to this factory and we get the song Ice Cream Fantasy Finale. And this is insane. So
oh my god, I felt like I was on so many drugs.
I was on
watching
so
this
many
fantasy
drugs because
sequence.
suddenly it was in color and I was just like, did I take something? And so
the kids are banging on the windows
to be let in, but the ice cream isn't ready yet. There are women dressed as Dutch milkmaids singing to large animatronic cows. And then we get a
Dot is there.
Dot
works
because
at the
he
ice
still
cream
thinks
factory.
that she's his mom.
She's
Unclear.
his mother.
So we get a sequence of women bringing oversized ingredients to this oversized mixer, and they
Ice
roller
cream
skate.
maker,
I thought they were roller skating. They are ice skating.
They are roller skating at one point, and then they switch to ice
skating.
skates.
Okay, thank you. I thought I was insane. So there's roller skating around, dropping large strawberries and chocolate and vanilla into this big mixer. And then the like Dot and Eddie are trying to placate the children by singing to them. And then the ice cream comes out of the bottom of this big mixer with women sitting on the ice cream, and my brain popped up to Tarzan the elephant, where it's like, are you sure this ice cream sanitary looks questionable to me? So just then the children break down the door.
I'm just thinking of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Similar
same
chaotic,
vibes,
like
same
sweet
vibes.
factory.
And when we get to Willy Wonka later on, it's gonna have similar sanitary vibes.
The children essentially knock down the door of this ice cream factory and overrun the place. Eddie is trapped under the door for a hot second.
They all go sit at counters and eat wild amounts of ice cream. Dot and Louie are there too. Louie is operating a cherry machine gun.
A cherry gun. And just shooting it at the ice cream. Shooting it at the ice cream.
And
it ends with all the kids essentially having pillows stuffed into their shirts because they're
Violet
so full.
Beauregard and Blueberry, and like they all leave, and it ends with Eddie kissing Toots, and the end.
No, and with the reprise of When My Ship Comes In. Because he has said the lyrics have been changed that now my ship has come in.
Yeah.
And I have everything I've ever wanted, which is a free ice cream factory. Oh my god, my notes for this read like a fever.
Honestly, Eddie reminds, so you know that what's his face, Rupert Grint, with all of his Harry Potter money, got an ice cream truck but didn't get a license to sell it, so he just goes around giving out free ice cream. Same vibes.
All right, what are you drinking? You're drinking mulled wine?
No, I'm not. I'm drinking I had mulled wine left over from last night, but I am drinking my canned sparkling Pinot Gris.
Yeah, and we're drinking because this now is Drinks and Dramaturgy. But first, to be fair, I jumped the gun a little bit. What did you think of this?
It was wild. It was a musical.
It was a true blue musical.
Yeah, there were at least 2 songs that were out of the context in which songs would appear in normal life, which I think is our prescribed.
I was thinking about that last night, actually. just kind of reflecting on,
I was
like, that is where we have drawn the line?
Yeah. I was thinking about that last night too, because I was watching Spy Kids and there's a song and I was like, is Spy Kids a musical?
There is?
Yeah. Floop sings. Of course Ellen Cummings sings.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah.
You'd be remiss. And you know who was remiss? Burlesque.
Yes, exactly. It was an insane plot, and I feel like it was a product of its time, and I enjoyed the comedy that was done. I thought Ethel Mermen was great. I thought Eddie Cantor's physical comedy was fantastic. I had issues with, obviously, all of the use of white people as people of color. Yeah, so there were issues with it. It is a product of its time. Overall, I thought the comedy bits were good, but it doesn't quite redeem it enough.
It wasn't, I feel exactly the same way. There was a fair amount of dialogue, especially Dot's lines, that I found really, really funny, and there was a great amount of physical comedy, but it was not nearly enough to redeem it for all of its flaws.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I did laugh out loud. I also wanted to scream and throw my computer, so I'll put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Okay, dramaturgy report. So this came out in 1934. We're back with the Hays Code, y'all.
Hey!
Remember
Hays!
that? All right,
Hose.
Hays. So this was directed by Roy Del Ruth.
Mhm.
He was an American filmmaker. He started as a writer, then moved to directing short films before ultimately moving to features. And a lot of his films' early success was what was considered pre-code.
Mhm.
Now, pre-code Hollywood was this brief era between the adoption of sound in pictures in 29 and the enforcement of censorship guidelines, which is the Hays Code, mid-1934. And also, and to be fair, the code was actually adopted in 1930, but it was not enforced until July 1st, 1934. So Del Ruth made a lot of films, actually, and kind of cut his teeth as a filmmaker in that brief period of time.
Yeah.
When a lot...
You could get away with a lot more.
You could get away with a lot. You could do a lot more, and you weren't subject to these censorship codes.
Yes.
So his first big feature film was the 1931 Maltese Falcon.
Oh, good
and I
movie.
bring that up, but it's not the 41 remake. It's from 1931.
Oh, I'm probably thinking
And
of 40s. Yeah.
You are. However, it would be interesting to watch the 31 version because it technically was a pre-code film.
Right.
And it has a lot more sexual innuendo, references to homosexuality, cursing.
Oh, interesting.
Del Ruth was the second highest paid director in Hollywood from 1932 to 1941, which is very impressive.
Good for him.
And he was one of 7 directors on the 1946 film Ziegfeld Follies.
Ah, yes.
So that's that. The cinematographer was Ray June, so we had Roy and Ray. He was an American cinematographer during early and classic Hollywood cinema. He is best known for Babes in Arms and Funny Face, starring Audrey Hepburn.
Lovely.
And we've had this happen a couple times with our cinematographers or our directors where they were cameramen in the army during World War I. And he's credited that as what led him to become one of the top cinematographers in the industry, and he actually helped develop what was considered the MGM look, which is that like rich, glossy veneer on film that set the studio apart from what other studios were doing at the time.
Absolutely.
Which I thought was really interesting.
That's awesome.
That's all I got.
Great. So there were 2 writers. The first is Nunnally Hunter Johnson. So he was an American screenwriter, film director, producer, and playwright. As a filmmaker, he wrote the screenplays to more than 50 films. His career spanned from 27 to 67. He produced more than half of the films he wrote scripts for and directed 8 of those movies. In 1940, he was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay for Grapes of Wrath. And in 1956, he was nominated for the Directors Guild of America Award for Outstanding Director for the feature film The Man in the Gray Flannel Suit.
Okay.
The second writer was Nat Perrin. He was an American comedy, film, television, and radio screenwriter, producer, director. He contributed a lot of gags and storylines to several Marx Brothers films. Nat Perrin is also credited with writing the screenplay or the story outline for over 25 films, including The Big Store, The Great Morgan, and The Song of the Thin Man, which as well as several television series. So they each had very long and prestigious careers. Now, the music and lyrics, this was written by Alfred Newman. He was an American composer, arranger, and conductor. He was kind of a music prodigy. He came to be a regarded and respected figure in the history of film music. He won 9 Academy Awards and was nominated 45 times.
What?
Yes.
It's like a Hans Zimmer.
And contributed to the extended Newman family being the most Academy Award nominated family with a collective 92 nominations in various music categories.
Damn.
Yeah. His career spanned 4 decades. He composed the scores for over 200 movies. Some of his most famous is Wuthering Heights, Hunchback of Notre Dame, I don't think the Disney version, Mark of Zorro, Song of Bernadette, All About Eve, Love is a Many Splendored Thing, Anastasia, Diary of Anne Frank, Greatest Story Ever Told, and his final score was Airport, all of which were nominated or won Academy Awards. He's probably most well known for composing the fanfare which accompanies the studio logo at the beginning of 20th Century Fox.
Yes,
so this
I
is
did know
the
that.
dun, 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 dun.
That one? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He also did the fanfares associated with Samuel Goldwyn Productions and David O. Selznick Productions. He's highly regarded as a conductor and arranged and conducted scores for other composers like George Gershwin, Charlie Chaplin, Irving Berlin. He also conducted the film for many film adaptations of Broadway musicals because he worked on Broadway for 10 years before coming to Hollywood. He also did many original Hollywood musicals. He was among the first musicians to compose and conduct original music during Hollywood's golden age of movies, later becoming a respected and powerful music director in the history of Hollywood. So he's considered one of the 3 godfathers of film music. So he's a very cool person. Now, for actors and casting, I've already talked about Ethel Mermen, so I'm going to talk about Eddie Cantor because this was very much a vehicle for him.
This is a vehicle for Eddie Cantor. I'm really actually,
Yes.
I'm glad you're going to talk about him. I was hoping you were going to talk about him.
Yes.
And we're going to get a lot of Ethel later.
Oh, yeah, we'll get more Ethel. I mean, I've already done Ethel, but, we'll talk about her more. So Eddie Cantor, he was born in 1892. I would just like to discuss the fact that he was born in the 1800s. He was an American illustrated song performer, comedian, dancer, singer, vaudevillian, actor, and songwriter. He was popular on Broadway, in radio, in movies, and early television audiences, and sort of thought of almost as a family member by a lot of people because he had these radio shows that revealed sort of intimate stories and anecdotes about him and his wife Ida and his 5 daughters. So he sort of had
5 daughters,
this. Yeah. So some of his songs that he wrote include "Makin' Whoopee."
I know.
If You Knew Susie, Baby Just Cares for Me, How You Gonna Keep Him Down on the Farm. And he also wrote a few songs, including Merrily We Roll Along, which was the Warner Bros. Cartoon theme. He did a lot of charity work and humanitarian work, and especially helped develop March of Dimes. And he's credited with coining its name. And in 1956, he was awarded an honorary Oscar for distinguished service to the film industry. So he was a very, very popular person, very wholesome. He was with the same woman for his whole life, Ida. They had 5 daughters, and when Ida passed, he passed, I think, just 2 years later.
Yeah. Okay. I do not have a lot for reviews and reception just because this is such a dated film. I can say that it was a big box office hit. It was nominated to be on the American Film Institute's Greatest Movie Musicals list. I do not believe it's on it. I think it was just nominated. I did, however, find, and I think I might include this in the homework, I found a 1934 New York Times review of this film. Now, obviously, if you're a listener, you may not have access to this if you don't have a New York Times subscription, although I'm not sure. Maybe they do a couple free every month.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I will link that just because I thought it was kind of a cool time capsule.
For sure. Singing and dancing.
Singing and dancing. I wanted more Ethel, to be honest.
I wanted
we
more
got
Ethel.
her
I
in the
think
minstrel show, and we got her at the beginning, but this was one of her first.
Yeah, so this was before she really like hit off. Now, obviously, they were aware of her talent because they had her open the musical. They had her open the movie.
They're not stupid.
Yeah, but also this movie was not about her. I thought Eddie Cantor's voice was lovely and pleasant and nothing too crazy special, but joyous and happy, and I didn't have anything bad about it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I found him emotive in ways that I did not find Joan and Jerry when they had their duet.
Yeah.
To be fair, those songs were just performances. They were not there was less acting going on inside because it was not moving their character development along.
Yeah. And everyone else, honestly, was just kind of a little bit forgettable. Mostly, everyone else, Joan and Jerry. They were fine. I didn't have anything,
they weren't bad.
It wasn't like they were bad or anything like that. It was just not really memorable in compared to those two.
And then in terms of dancing, the only true dancing was the tap break in the minstrel show, which was featuring the Nicholas brothers, which is my homework.
Yes.
Nothing about this movie. We're going to talk about...
We don't need anything more from this movie.
We're going to talk about the Nicholas brothers when we do Stormy Weather.
Yeah.
But the Nicholas brothers have a really, really interesting, fascinating history, so my homework is to learn a little bit more about them. Also, this was their first Hollywood film.
Was it? That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I actually have a little bit of... I'm going to make this my fun fact, since we have the same fun fact about the Goldwyn girls. So I'll cover that later.
Yes. My gripe is that camels are herbivores.
That's a silly gripe. I have like major plot.
No, I know. We have like
gripes.
Well, yes. There's
gripes.
the obvious gripes that we have already discussed of just this is a movie that was made in 1934. There was a lot of cultural mixing and appropriation, and there was blackface and brownface, all of which is unacceptable and inappropriate and awful. And so that's like my
serious. The minstrel show served no purpose. It could just very easily be cut.
Yes, very upsetting.
Although
those are like my obvious real gripes.
Only...
My non-serious gripe. Like, camels are herbivores.
My silly gripe, there was no formal introduction to any of the characters. Like, normally, you'll see they'll like address some characters by name pretty early on.
Eddie
so,
was pretty obviously introduced, but no one else was.
Yeah, I never knew Dot or Louie's names until he changed his hat, and I was like, I need to know this person's name. I have to look this up.
Yeah.
That was just not built into the script.
Yeah, which is a bit silly. My giggle was that top hat being knocked off. It made me laugh out loud.
No, my giggle's Ethel's dialogue. Ethel Mermen has a great sense of, like, as much physical
comedic
comedy
timing
was in this film, she has great comedic timing. And honestly, so does Eddie Cantor.
Yes.
They made the film almost palatable.
Almost being the key word. All right, the fun fact that we have been alluding to this whole time. Yes. So the Goldwyn girls are the
which we've talked about. We've talked about the Goldwyn girls in past. There was just like this core
because they were the last. Their last appearance was in Guys and Dolls.
Yes, thank you.
That was where we'd seen them before. They just had a contract group of chorus dancers to be in the background of everything, and they were called basically the Goldwyn girls. One of those in this film is Lucille Ball. She can be seen in quite a few numbers, but you have to sort of know where to point them out. Like, there's just so many women.
One of my fun facts is, so at the end, the ice cream fantasy sequence, there's all those kids running around, and there was a TV show going at the time called Our Gang that featured like a bunch of children, and all of those kids were just like loaned to this film to be with those kids. It was
to beat down a door.
Yeah, it was just Our Gang, which ultimately became Little Rascals, was like a comedy, a series of comedic short films chronicling like neighborhood ragamuffin kids. Yeah, it was created by Hal Roach, who we know from Laurel and Hardy. Our gang broke new ground in that it portrayed white and black children interacting as equals.
I did notice that in the finale.
Yeah, during the Jim Crow era in the States. My second fun fact is just a little bit of background on the Nicholas brothers, and hopefully this inspires you, dear listeners, to do your homework and learn more about them.
Yeah.
They started in vaudeville.
Mm-hmm.
They became a featured act in Harlem's Cotton Club in 1932.
Mm-hmm.
And they had no formal dance training, which is incredible.
Wild. Naturally
They did
talented.
have an uncredited movie debut in 32. However, like they became known for their acrobatic dancing style. Producer Sam Goldwyn saw them at Harlem's Cotton Club and invited them to California to be in this film.
Amazing.
Now, I want our listeners to read more up on like what happened after this film.
Yeah. That is
Okay.
all I wrote. That is all she wrote.
Is that all she wrote?
That is all she wrote.
There's no more notes left on my page. What wild fever dream my notes are for this. Okay, well, if you're still here, thanks for going on this journey with us. This has been 5678, a movie musical podcast. I have been Anna.
I'm still Grace.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know.